Welcome back to Banfield Tonight. I'm Marnie Hughes in for Ashleigh. The question, who killed Joann Tate and repeatedly stabbed her two young children, remains tonight. For more than 3 decades, most people were convinced it was this man, Rodney Lincoln. A former lover of Tate's, he was convicted of the crime and spent more than 36 years behind bars. But in 2018, his life sentence was commuted by the governor after DNA testing cast real doubt on his involvement in the crime. Now more and more people are trying to piece this together and figure out who really committed the murder. The search for Joann Tate's murderer is the focus of a new podcast entitled The Real Killer, and I'm joined tonight by the host of that podcast and series, Leah Rothman. Leah, we appreciate your time tonight. So take me back to the beginning of this case. Remind people of the evidence. Why did police believe that Rodney Lincoln was the killer?
Right. So in 1982, when the murder happened, 7-year-old Melissa was really the only eyewitness who could help police. And a month later, she ends up IDing one of her mom's ex-boyfriends, Rodney Lincoln. And basically her identification and then a hair on a blue blanket that they said microscopically matched Rodney was really the crux of the evidence that they had against Rodney at that time.
And what does she say now about what she shared with police identifying him then? Does she still stick with that story?
No, in 2015, she recanted. And she had some of these feelings over the years, but she was too afraid to really pay attention to that voice inside of her. And in 2015, she came out and said, I got it wrong, he didn't do it, and we've got to let this man out. Unfortunately, a lot of people didn't want to believe her.
Is there still a chance he is the killer? Where is Rodney Lincoln tonight?
Rodney Lincoln is out. In 2018, Governor Eric Greitens commuted a sentence to time served. He is still considered guilty of the crimes, but he's out. And the search is, who is the real killer? And that's what we ask in the Real Killer podcast. Who is the real killer? There are people in the Missouri court system that still believe Rodney is the real killer. And there are other people out there, many people out there, that believe it's not him, and it's two people. There are 2 names that are at the top of the list of who could be the real killer.
Right.
And I actually get an exclusive interview with one of them.
Who's that?
Well, I can't share his name right now. I hate to say, you have to listen to the podcast, but before folks, I know I would love to share it.
Well, let me jump in then, because we do know there was a serial killer at the time. Tommy Lynn Sells. He moved to St. Louis just before the murder. The crime scene resembled some of his killings. So what is your theory about who did it?
It's a good question. I think it could be, a lot seems to point to Tommy Lynn Sells. A lot seems to possibly point to this other person that I speak to who's currently incarcerated. Tommy Lynn Sells had a very similar MO, like you said. He was from the St. Louis area. There are questions about where he was at the time of the murder. Some believe he was locked up in a youth detention facility. Others say not so fast. So I believe it could be one of these 2 people. And these are some of the questions that we ask in the podcast.
A lot of questions around this mystery, a tragic story that involved this poor family, a woman killed and her daughters severely injured, and there to witness this. Really interesting, Leah. We appreciate your time tonight, and we'll have to listen to hear who you talk to. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.